how did you and your family end up here? What was the story for that brought y'all to Florida?
Well, we were, my husband's in the Army. We were at Fort Bragg. I did not want to leave the area that we were in. I didn't want to leave the house we were in. I just loved it so much. I loved the community. And again, it was we were not in Fayetteville. We were in a Southern Pines, Aberdeen area. And whenever he got orders to come here, I'm not gonna lie, I was very sad. But it took me some time, and I was like, all right, well, we're moving to the beach, and we basically won the lottery for a Army PCS. I was gonna say, in my personal opinion, I think it's winning the lottery.
There's a whole lot of other people from North Carolina that probably would have taken that job. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I just, it was like I was leaving gymnastics. I was leaving.
Right.
I think that was one of the harder things, like gymnastics. Just when you're a military spouse or just military in general, and the restarting over and over and over again.
It's extremely difficult.
Yeah, and it was like, gosh, I finally created something, and now we have to leave it again. It was a little sad, but then obviously we come here and it's like, okay, I can do that again here. I think
the roots and everything else. Yeah, so I totally relate because my wife was military. She had been in for 6 years. I had been in the same amount of time, and then she starts making the decision, hey, I want to go out and get into the ministry. We get orders down here. We pick up. We had been here for 3 years, and we didn't want to leave. I get orders to D.C., and we're like, no. Kids are in school. Church is great. Getting into the community, just falling in love with Navarre. You could do a whole lot worse, right? And so we switched out.
You could do DC.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was during COVID too, because it was like everything was shut down up there. My brother lives up in Virginia, and he was like, "Dude, you don't want to come up here." He's like, "We want to come down there and live with you, right?"
No, I've already lived. My mom's from DC area. I lived in DC for years.
Yeah.
No.
So much happier here. So and family. I mean, that's so much of what it's about is taking care of your family, making sure that they're planted, connected, and all that stuff. So that's a great picture. So how recent is this?
This was just in September,
okay,
October.
So less than a year. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was just in the fall.
That's great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. So y'all are playing down here, and he's recently retired. Is that right? So
he retired
that's awesome.
last summer.
Living a retired life. That's great.
He doesn't
I'm
care
jealous.
for the humidity, but I like it. Navarre reminds me a lot of where I grew up. I grew up in a really small town, and so Navarre is a lot.
Small town feel.
It's I don't know. I even wrote on the chamber at the breakfast. I wrote a letter on my handout, and I just was like, "This is of all of the places I have left or lived since leaving home. This is the first place that feels like home."
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Since leaving home,
it does that absolutely, and that was part of the draw for us is. My wife wasn't from the South, so I was introducing her to everything. And I was like, we want to keep some of that Southern culture and especially the small town feel. And that's when we picked out Navarre over Destin and several other places. I was like, this still has it. We want to preserve that. So totally agree with you there.